Welcome to the Akashic Library.
All right, today we're jumping into something powerful, something that might even feel a little counterintuitive. We're talking about the affirmation effect. So let me ask you something. Can your words actually change your reality? It seems like a simple question, right? But the answer, well, it's way more complex and honestly more powerful than you might think. And it all kicks off with just a single sentence. Just imagine saying that to yourself every single day. I am always chosen. That's just one example from the material we're looking at today, which, get this, lays out a whole method for basically rewiring your brain. So you're probably wondering, how on earth does this actually work? Okay, so let's start with the how. It all begins with a really simple, tangible practice. The whole idea is to create a kind of ritual for your mind. And you do that by linking these powerful words to a physical action, something you already do every single day. And the method? It's actually beautifully simple. So, step one, you pick what's called an anchor. Think of it as a daily sensory action. The example given is putting on perfume or cologne. Then, step two, as you're doing that action, you speak your affirmations out loud. See what's happening? The physical act literally becomes the trigger for the mental one. Okay, so what are you supposed to say? Well, here are some really powerful examples. And I want you to notice something here. These aren't wishes, right? They're not like, I hope I'm loved. No, they are bold, declarative statements. You're saying, I am magnetic. I am the prize. Even, I am the luckiest girl in the world. It's like you're stating a new reality into existence. And it's not just about what you get, it's also about what you give. Like this one, I make everyone feel good. The goal is to just saturate your mind with these ideas. But, and this is a big but, it brings up a pretty huge question, doesn't it? Yeah, this is where we get to the core of how this whole thing works. Because I bet you're thinking, okay, this all sounds great, but what if I don't actually believe any of this stuff about myself? At least not yet. And that right there, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? It's probably the biggest reason most people try affirmations and then just give up. You feel like a fake. So do you have to believe it for it to work? Well, here's the answer, and it's super counterintuitive and honestly, kind of liberating. The answer is no. You don't have to believe them. You don't even have to feel that they're true yet for them to work. So how is that even possible? The secret is something called the repetition principle. Think about it like this. Your brain is a bit like a computer. It doesn't really care what's real and what's not. It just learns and creates new pathways based on whatever you tell it, over and over and over again. This is the big mindset shift right here. Most of us think we have to feel it first and then we can say it. But this whole idea, it flips that on its head. It says you have to repeat it consistently first, and then the feeling, the actual belief, that comes later. Okay, so we've got the technique, the ritual, and we've got the principle, repetition. But is that the whole story? Not quite. And this last part adds a really important layer to all of this. So let's be real for a second. Are affirmations some kind of magic wand? Like if you just say these phrases every day but literally change nothing else about your life, is anything really going to happen? And the answer we get is super direct. Most likely not. And you know what? I actually love that honesty. It makes this whole thing feel way more credible. Because affirmations aren't magic. They're a tool. For this to really truly work, you have to see affirmations as just one tool in a bigger toolkit. They're a support system, not the whole solution. It's also super important that you're actively working on your limiting beliefs. Doing that daily work to elevate your consciousness. We're talking about things like meditation, journaling, or just learning new things. So here's the bottom line, the big takeaway. Think of affirmations as brain training. Seriously. It's like doing reps at the gym, but for your mind. You're building new neural pathways. It's not a magic spell. It's a disciplined practice that supports all the other deep work you're doing. And that really just leaves us with one final thought, doesn't it? If your brain really does learn by repetition, and you are constantly, whether you realize it or not, telling it a story about who you are, what story are you going to choose to repeat tomorrow?
What you affirm to yourself daily becomes the filter through which you experience everything. Next, decode life's hidden patterns in The Algorithm of Life.